Welcome to Real Judaism with Rabbi Klapper. Unfiltered wisdom for Jewish life.
Okay, we're back here on the bottom of Daf Yud Tes. Im ishto tishal otcha eich lisader es habayis. If the wife asks her husband, what do you think? How should we set up the living room? Right? We were talking about how important Seder, how important things should be orderly and clean. Now giving another example using the same thing, the same direction. So a wife asks her husband, so what do you think about putting the couch over here? There's a great story about the Chofetz Chaim. I hope in another minute, maybe we'll tell this story about the Chofetz Chaim. Ha'im lohamid et hamiznon bekir hadromi o maravi. Now, I didn't know what a miznon was, so I tried to look it up. I don't know. It's called a buffet, right? It's some form of piece of furniture, I guess. I'm guessing that if it's a buffet, it's some kind of a low piece of furniture that, like, you put things on, right? Like pictures or whatnot. Where should we put this piece of furniture? Should we put it on the left, on the right? Where do you think should be under the picture? Al yoimer lo. Don't say back to her, Bishvili ze lo chashuv. I don't care. Doesn't make a difference to me. Tasi kvi ma shat uta. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You think you're the biggest tzaddik in the world by saying this. But comes along with Friedlander and he says, no, that's the wrong thing to say. Why? Ki bezeh hu pogea ba. Because he insults her by doing that. Why is that insulting? So he explains, Devarim eile chashuvim lachush hayofi shela. These things are important to her because the beauty of the home, beauty in general, is something that's important to her. But what's even more important to her than just it looking nice is that he should like it. Now let's try to understand why that is. Why is it that it's more important for a woman that her husband should like it than that she should think that it's pretty? Why? What's the reason for that? The reason is because, and this is a big yesod, I think maybe we mentioned it already once before, but it's a very, very important yesod. Okay? The yesod is like this. The yesod is that a woman was created to be an ezer kenegdo. And what it means to be an ezer kenegdo is that she's coming to help him. She's created, her genetic makeup is to help him, which means that everything that she's doing, she wants to make sure that it's to help him, that it's for him. That's what she wants to do. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, it's built into her genetic makeup. Therefore, if she's doing something, she wants him to be happy with it. That's what she wants deep inside. If he says he doesn't care about something that she's working hard on, something that she cares very much about, then there's no point for her to do this either. But intrinsically, she has a desire for it. So she has this inner struggle. On the one hand, I want something to be beautiful, but I want to do it for my husband. That's much more important. I want him to be happy with it. And the man, Bechlal, just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. So that means to her, she's a failure. That's what it means. I'm here to try to make my husband happy. I'm here to be the ezer kenegdo, and he just doesn't care. I'm a complete failure. Now, this sounds pretty extreme, right? But I say it's these little things that make up what she does every day. So if it's these little things that make up what she does every day, so what? He doesn't care about anything that I do? Yeah, you add all the pieces together, and that's what you're going to end up with. That feeling of like, oh, anything I do for him, he doesn't care. How in the world am I supposed to be an ezer kenegdo? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do that? He doesn't care at all. She puts a plant in a corner, or she wants to put up, she hangs a certain picture or painting over here on the other side. He doesn't even see it. He doesn't notice it at all. He walks in, doesn't notice that there's anything different. Yeah, he might notice different if the furniture is completely different and he didn't pay for it and he didn't know that he paid for that. That he might notice. But like, she's trying to make it beautiful and it means absolutely nothing to him. Im kain ishto mistokelet umuchzevet. Now she looks at, mituskelet umuchzevet. She's going to be very upset. Very, very upset. What am I doing all this for? Ha'isho ahevet litlabesh yafa b'tov tam. She likes to dress nicely and good taste. Zeh mu'gan berega shayofi shelo. That's anchored in her feelings, her emotional feelings of what beauty is. He oises zois leman bala. She's doing it for her husband. No, she's not. She's not doing it for me. She is. How do you know she's doing it for me? I told you, that's in her genetics, right? If you put in a code, listen, I'm not a computer programmer, but I have to imagine that if you put a code to create some kind of program, the program's going to do whatever code you put in, right? It's not going to just do something else. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu put a code into the creation of a woman. That's what she's going to do. So that's what she wants. She wants to do it so that her husband will enjoy it, will be happy for it. And that's how she fills her aspect of being an ezer kenegdo. And if he just doesn't care, then there's nothing there. What's the point? A woman can come to dikaon like that. She can really come to depression like that. He also zoit leman bala leman chen beinav. A woman is always looking to be matzah chen be'enei bala. That's what she's always looking for. And yet he doesn't care. Lachen hi mitzape litkuva mibala kasher hi loveshet simla chadasha. She's always looking when she gets a new dress, a new outfit. What does he think about it? What does he have to say about it? Does he even notice that she got one? You got a new dress? We don't have the money for that. That's what he notices, right? Now, I said I was going to tell you a story about the Chofetz Chaim. I don't remember where I heard this story from, but the Chofetz Chaim later in life, he got remarried. His wife passed away and he got remarried. And he was already, I believe, in his 60s when he got remarried. He lived, I think the Chofetz Chaim lived to 95, but he got remarried. And actually a lot of stories because the famous, what's famous about it is that from his second marriage, he had a daughter. And I believe the daughter married a man named Rav Mendel Zaks. And Rav Hillel Zaks, who was a Rosh Yeshiva here, he was a Rosh Yeshiva in Hebron and other places, is a direct descendant. I'm not sure if he's a son or a grandson of the Chofetz Chaim from this marriage. Lamaise, when he got remarried, this is the way I heard the story. When he got remarried, so came Sukkot, and he was going to build a sukkah. So he went to go build a sukkah, and his new wife comes out, first sukkahs that they're married, and she's watching him build a sukkah, and she says, I don't know, she called him by his first name, Yisrael Meir, I think that the sukkah would look better on the other side. I think you should build it over there instead of building it over here. Now you have to imagine this is his second wife, right? He's in his 60s already. This is not the first time he's building a sukkah, right? He's been living in the same house for a long time. This is not his first year building a sukkah in the exact same place. But here his new wife comes and tells him, I think you should build it on the other side. So what does he do? He takes it apart and starts building it where she said she would like it to be built over there. Didn't say a word, right? Chofetz Chaim, tzidkus of the Chofetz Chaim. All the years he did the same thing, and now new wife have to change. She came out a little bit later and saw him building it in the place where she said it, and she said, you know what? You were right. It is much better on the other side. I think you should build it there. So he took it down, and he rebuilt it again in the original spot that he had built it originally. Okay, so the tzidkus of the Chofetz Chaim is beyond our recognition, right? You imagine what would have happened in somebody else's house if this would have been the story. But the Maisa, this is what she cares about. She wants it to look nice. She wants it to be in the right place. I care about what she wants. I'm going to do it. Ad kedei kach. I mean, if you're the Chofetz Chaim, then yeah. Most of us, I don't know, but we should definitely answer in a way that would be respectable. We're certainly respectful. We shouldn't just say something not nice like, mind your own business, or I know what I'm doing, right? Well, for a lot of us, we have our marpeset, so there's no other place to build our sukkah except for the marpeset, right? But Lemaisi, we can see from here that the Chofetz Chaim took this seriously. He took it very seriously. My wife says, I want something on this side or that side. That's what's important to her. And that's what I'm going to do. Don't be scared. Don't be so scared. Don't assume. Don't already just assume that, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be terribly difficult. Every person has an isayon that's meant for them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows how to give each person the test that they need to fulfill their tachlis in this world, right? Somehow, it's amazing. I don't know, maybe it's just in my house, but like somehow your kids know exactly what buttons to push in order to put you to the test. They know exactly what to do. Not just that, you should know your Talmidim also learn over time which buttons to push. But Lemaise, a person can overcome these things. The Ratzon Toiv, the Ktsatsimas Lev, as long as the person has a good desire and he takes a little bit to pay attention. Pay attention. Yikne avana b'dvar ma'ele. Then he will be able to be koine an understanding. He'll be able to acquire an understanding in these things. You just have to pay attention. I like to say it's be a student of human nature. Just be, like my grandmother, Allah Shalom, used to always say, I'm curious. So you're curious. You just watch how people act. Why are they acting like that? Why? Why is that so important to them? Why are they talking like that? Just study people. Right? I think they call it sociology or something like that, right? Some fancy name. Study the way people act. Why? Why is this important? So he's saying, if you do that, you study your wife, right? No woman wants to be called a sugya, right? I'm not a sugya. I'm a human being. Okay. So she's a person. Study her as a person. What's important to her? Person will be able to pick up these things, but it has to be something that's on your mind. If it's not something that's on your mind, you won't notice it. I'm just trying to survive life. It's too many things to worry about, too many things to deal with. I don't have time even to pay attention. Sure, sometimes that happens in life. I understand it could happen to everybody, such a thing. But Lamaisa, overall, a person, unless you're like, you work for the Mossad or something like that, you do have a little bit of time that maybe you can stop and think and like just notice and like pay attention. Maybe. There are times in life where you can do that. In fact, it's probably a lot of time. Not everybody is living on like this high stress, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for their whole life. Stop and think. And then you'll think, what should I say? If she's saying something, what should I say? How can I respond so I can satisfy what she wants? What does she want? Essentially, what she wants is to know that she's making me happy. That's what she wants, right? That's the big yesod. What a woman wants more than anything else is to know that maybe not more than anything else, but it's one of the big ones. She wants to know that she's making her husband happy. That will satisfy her. What can I say that will bring that point out and that she'll make her happy? She'll be happy if she knows I'm satisfied. Right? I'll give you another marshal. Let's say you have a guy who's a big masmid, right? First year, second year marriage, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could be much later in life too. It's a big masmid. And he's not necessarily even learning in Koilo, but let's say he's not. He's a working guy, but he mamishes kovei itim like in a very, very serious way. And he wakes up early to learn. He learns during his lunch break. He has a night seder chavrusa. He learns every American holiday that there is because he has off, right? And the mamish is taking and he finishes masechtas and he learns be'in, he does musar and he learns halacha, maybe even gives a shir here or there. Mamish, serious guy, yeah? Besides the fact that he's working. Okay. So then, like, every 3 seconds, he wants to learn Torah. Wow, that's a beautiful thing. It's an amazing thing. It's just that one day, his wife's like, I wanted to go out with you. Can we go out together? Just a day out, the two of us. So what's this guy thinking? He's thinking, Pashut Bittul Torah. Why should I do that, right? I have an off day. Let me learn the whole day. I'm off for a reason. Okay, so I'll come home for lunch. Seder, we'll spend time, maybe lunch. You want to take away my... She said, well, only in the afternoon, so I can still learn in the morning. But, like, it's a lot of time to miss, right? I've got a schedule. I got things to finish. I need this time. I'm going to tell my chavrusa, what? So, but his wife keeps pushing him. She wants to go out, We haven't gone out in 6 months. I want to go out. I want to do something. I want to go to the park. I want to, let's take the kids together somewhere. Let's go. Come on. So he doesn't know what to do. So he asks his Rebbe, and his Rebbe says, yeah, you should go. You should go. You should go. It's not Bittul Torah. You should go. Something that you need to do. It's important. Go. Okay. Fine. Rebbe said to go. I'm going to go. But who says I'm going to be happy about it? I don't have to be happy about it. So he goes, and the whole time he's thinking, oh gosh, I could have been finishing at least 2 or 3 blot during this time. And he's thinking, wow, what a waste of time. You think that she's going to see that on his face? Oh yeah. From his body language, even he doesn't say a word. He doesn't say anything. For sure she's going to see that. You think she's going to have a good time because of that? Not at all. He missed the whole point. He's not making her happy like this. In a certain way, it would have been better if he wouldn't have come at all. She's trying to work on the kesher, build a kesher. He makes it very clear he doesn't want to be here. He's here. He came because he has to come, because his rabbi told him that he has to come. But he has no interest in being here. It's very clear. So what does that mean? It means she's not getting anything out of it, and neither is he. What was the point? Why is he doing this? Pashut, the Rav was wrong. Why did the Rav tell him to go? So what's the right mahalach? The right mahalach is go and have a good time. Buy that extra ice cream. Do the extra thing. Have a good time. If you're having a good time, you don't have to feel guilty about missing your Seder. Because what you're doing over here is the avodah of that time, which is to build a kesher. That's what you're doing. And you're giving her exactly what she wants. She wants that building kesher. She wants to know he wants to be with me. And by acting that way, that's exactly what he's doing. He's saying, I want to be here. I'm having a good time too. I'm not just having a good time for you. I'm having a good time for me. And that's exactly what she wants. It's a completely different attitude. But the guy is so entrenched in his own thought process, he can't see what's going on with her. So you have to think about what's the way that will give her that svia, that satisfaction. All of this is what's called, again, as chesed towards his wife. But as I said, we said from the very beginning, chesed towards your wife doesn't mean, oh wow, she's a poor person, I have to give her tzedakah. It doesn't mean that. Chesed towards the wife is a different form of chesed altogether. It's a way of giving to her that creates shleimus. Giving her to her in a way that she knows she's being mekayim her chelek, or the way Hashem created her. Right? It's very interesting. We say every morning, men say every morning, Shelo Asani Isha. The pashut pshat of Shelo Asani Isha is that men are mitzuvah and mitzvahs aseh shezman grama, and women are not. And therefore, we're thanking Hashem that we have more mitzvahs that we're mitzuvah in. That's the pashut pshat. What does a woman say? A woman says, Shasani Kiritzoino. Now, for those who don't really know, it may sound like very male chauvinistic, right? He made me in that way, right? But if you look at it carefully, what does the words mean? He made me according to his will. Kiritzoino, like he wanted. What does that mean, like he wanted? So I saw it pointed out, I believe, I don't remember exactly which sefer I saw it in, but I saw it pointed out that the same words are used in Kaddish. The word in Kaddish, we say, Ba'alma divrachru say, in the world that you wanted to make. Meaning, we are coming to be your name great, Yiskadel Yiskadesh. We're coming to make Shmei Rabbi, your great name. Where are we making your great name? We're making your great name in the world that you wanted to create, this low world that we live in, this physical world. It's the place where the Shechina is coming to be Shruya. So that's what a woman is saying also. A woman is saying, you think that like I'm not so spiritual. It's not true, first of all. It's not true at all. But I'm involved with so many physical things. That's exactly where HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to rest His Shechina. Exactly there. And if that's the place where Hashem wants to rest His Shechina, so that's what a woman is saying in her bracha. Shasani kretzayno, you made me the way you wanted, because that's the place where you want the Shekhinah to rest. So that's why you made me this way. You made me in a way, in a Gashmi's way, because you want the Shekhinah to be Shruya in the Gashmias. If we understand that that's really what's happening over here, so we can forgive a little bit, and we can understand that that's where she is. So we should respect that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted it to be that way, specifically wanted it to be that way. So that's how a person does chesed with his wife. That's how he gives her. That is the Ratzon Hashem. Harei Avinu Le'el is Divrei Rashi. We brought before what Rashi said. Et ha'ani imoch. Ra'at atmecha kilu ata ani. We brought it earlier that it says that when a person gives to a poor person, a person has to view themselves as if they are that poor person. Loimar, to teach us, efshel asot chesed mushlam. It's possible to do a full chesed. Rak kasher nichnasim lematavo u'tchushosо shel azulas. Only when you go into their world. When you're in their world and you understand what's going on in their world, that's how you can totally give them what they need. Live in their world. If you live in their world, you'll see, oh my gosh, wow, they wear shoes that don't have holes. They have holes in them, the shoes. How are they going to walk in the rain? How are they going to do that? We need to get them shoes. Okay. What's next? You open the refrigerator. Wow, what? There's no chili matok? Chili matok. We barely have bread and milk and okay, the Seder, fine. So we'll get you all this stuff, but also chili matok. Because how could you have that, right? There's no mustard? Mustard? What are you crazy? We're like, what do you think? We are rich? No, you deserve that also. You're living without all these things. And when you're looking from the outside, somebody's looking from the outside, they're saying, oh, they need the basics. Okay, we'll get them the basics. But when you're living from the inside, you notice every single detail. You notice every single thing about what's going on, right? In the Gemara Bava Kama says that in the Sugya that talks about you have to pay. There's a person who gets hana from somebody else, but the other person didn't lose anything from it, so he have to pay for that hana. And one of the examples the Gemara brings over there is somebody's living in somebody else's house, but for whatever reason they didn't use electricity, or there wasn't electricity or water. They weren't causing the other person a loss. So there's a tzad to say that by living in the other person's house, they're actually helping the person. Why? Because they'll notice when things are broken and they'll fix them. When you're actually living in somebody else's house, you see, oh, the tris is broken. I fixed it. Right? There's a story to bring this out. There's a story that Rabbi Eger once was traveling, and he stopped in an inn. Stopped off for the night in an inn. Better, certainly at that time, not a good idea to travel at night. And a frum guy who had this inn, and they asked him, does he have any svarim? Do you have any svarim? So I think he said that the only sefer that he had was a Rashba on Maseches Chulin. Yeah, that's what he had, a Rashba on Maseches Chulin. I'll take it. Thank you. So in the morning, when he was leaving, he gave it back to the balabais, and he said, "Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. By the way, you were missing a few pages, but I filled it in for you." Yeah, there's a lot of godless you can see about Rabbi Eger in this story, right? But Lamaisa, you see, you're living in a house, you fix something for him. You were missing something, so I fixed it for you. Because why? Because I was in the house and I was able to see that there's something missing. When a person is going into his wife's world to really understand, think about it for a second. It's really not so hard. Every once in a while, a wife will go away for something, There'll be like these women's retreats or something like that, or they'll go away for a simcha, and they'll leave the husbands to deal with everything. Now, if you have an older daughter, it's much better. Because a lot of times the older daughters, they know what to do, and the father's just going to be like, it's easier. But if you don't, or the daughters are too young, oh boy. I mean, I speak from experience about this, right? If every single thing is not explained, I'm going to miss something, right? And of course, if it's overseas, you're not going to necessarily be able to call and say, where's this one's pants? And where's this one? They have to get to school, and I don't know where anything is, right? And that's when person might really learn to appreciate his wife a little bit more when you are put into her shoes. But Lamaisa, that usually doesn't last too long. It's just, she comes back, you say, Baruch Shepatrani, and you're back into your own world. Well, Lamaisa, that's what a person could do. He'd go into her world and see what's happening. I don't think we're going to be able to finish the parak, this paragraph even. So, maybe we'll stop over here. Okay, shkoach.
Thank you for joining Real Judaism, where we explore Torah's wisdom for real life. Created by J Foundations and produced by Eli Podcast Productions. Find more episodes at realjudaism.org and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.